Welcome to Business Notes, the show where entrepreneurs tell their stories of struggles, strategies, and successes. I'm your host, Diane Bogino. It's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Paul S. Inselman to the show today. Dr. Inselman is a business development strategist, world-class business coach, author, and highly successful entrepreneur. And Dr. Inselman will be teaching us best practices to become a millionaire within the next 18 to 24 months. Let's get started. Dr. Inselman, thank you so much for being on the show today. I am excited to talk to you for sure, but let's begin with your story about why did you become a business coach?
Thank you so much for having me today. And my journey is kind of interesting to me anyway. I'm a chiropractor by license, and I practice something called enzyme nutrition. Enzyme nutrition restores homeostasis, which means balance at the cellular level. And I treated who I lovingly referred to as the medical rejects of the world, and that is not a joke. Okay, these were people who went through the medical model, were told, hey, go home, get your affairs in order. There's nothing else we could do for you. You're going to die. And in desperation, they flew out to this crazy chiropractor, me, on Long Island. And not only did they survive, but they thrived. And I got to enjoy a very, very nice reputation. And I built one of, if not the largest enzyme practice in the country. When I turned 41, as you can see, I'm not 41 anymore. When I turned 41, I decided to retire and move my family down to Florida. One of my patients was a Tony Robbins master trainer, and he got wind that I was leaving. And he said to me, Paul, I hear you're leaving. What are you going to do? I said, I'm going to play golf, and I'm going to go swimming, and I'm going to grow my kids. And he said, I get that, but what are you going to do? I said, which part of that did you not understand? So he laughed, and he said, are you going to retire? I said, yeah. He said, can I ask how old you are? I said, yeah, I was 41 at the time, 41. He said, Paul, you can't retire. You are too type A, you are too driven, you will put a gun to your head, don't retire. Why don't you come coach for us? I said, coach for you? What the hell do I know about coaching? He said, Paul, coaching is nothing more than motivating people to do the things that they don't want to do for their best interest. He said, there is not a chiropractor on the planet. Remember, this is 19 years ago. There's not a chiropractor on the planet that charges $2,000 for an examination, no insurance accepted. He said, I'm not complaining to you. I paid it. You literally changed and saved my life. But my point is, if you can communicate that kind of value, you can absolutely coach. I was like, I don't think so. So they pursued me for about 8 months. And finally, they made me a Godfather-like offer that I did not, and I could not refuse. And I went to work for them for 3.5 years. And it was awesome. It really was good. But he's right. I am an entrepreneur. I don't need to make anybody else money. So I left them on great terms. I created my own company called Creative Coaching and 911profit.com. And here we sit 19 years later, literally changing and saving lives, having a grand old time with 75 coaches on our team, and we're looking to expand even further.
Wow. So why is business coaching a good business to be in?
I tell everybody, I'm going to tell the audience right now, and if we speak personally, you'll hear me say this message over and over and over again. If you're coming to my team for the money, please don't. If you're coming to my team to help people literally change and save their lives, then please investigate it, check it out. If it's for you, your life is never going to be the same. And let me tell you what this gig is about. Last year, I did over $250,000 in pro bono work. Saved 54 businesses from going bankrupt, 23 people became a millionaire, and we had 1 suicide saved. That's where the juice is. That's where the fun is. Now, you will make crazy, stupid money. My coaches typically make $250,000 plus their first year. But why is it good to become a business coach? Hey, listen, if you want to be in business for yourself, what you want to do is you want to be in a recession-proof business. It sounds counterintuitive, but the economy is kind of crappy now, and we are busier than all get out. Why? Because there are 2 things, Diane, that have fueled business and have fueled the stock market since the beginning of time. two human emotions. Do you know what they are?
No, but I can't wait to hear.
Fear and greed.
Mm.
And they are going to govern business and human behavior till the end of time. So let's analyze that. I think 9% inflation and $5 a gallon for gas, I don't know, it has me pissed off. Does it have you pissed off?
Absolutely.
And I don't really care how much money you have. When you go to the gas pump and you spend 50, 70, 100, $150, it cost me $120 to fill up my truck the other day. It
Mm.
didn't feel good. It just doesn't. The other thing is when you have 9% inflation, your money doesn't go as far. So what happens is people get nervous. Business owners become fearful. And as a result, they want help and they flock to us. Well, that sounds good. Now, when things get great, when the economy is great, guess what? Greed kicks in and they don't want to limp to the next level. They want to catapult to the next level and they flock to us. So you ask the question, why is business coaching a good business? Number one, it is recession proof. Number two, big picture, you get to help people in ways that I got to pinch myself literally every day. I mean, I can't believe the emails, cards, and letters that I get and how we've shaped and changed people's lives. That's why this is, in my opinion, the greatest profession since sliced bread. The other thing is it scales, and it scales hugely, hugely.
Mm. So you love coaching. I love coaching. We love helping people. Nothing is perfect. What are some of the challenges of being a business coach?
Challenge is getting people to take action. You know, if you just sit there with your finger in your nose, wishing, hoping, and praying that your situation is going to change, you're going to have a hurt nose and probably a lot of boogers on your fingers. The reality is you've got to take action. And that's my biggest challenge in just motivating people to take action. However, remember, coaching is about motivating people to do the things they don't want to do. So when you motivate them to take action, oh my God, does their life change?
Yeah. Would you say this is a good time? You know, all the things that you named a while ago, is it really a good time to become a business coach?
Any time is a good time. You know, I hate the pandemic. Okay. Not a fan of COVID. I almost died last year, literally. I was in the hospital for 7 days. I want COVID to go away. I know people
Oh.
died. COVID sucks.
Mm.
However, for business, COVID was the greatest boon to my practice in the history of my practice. I had record years because of COVID. Let me give you an example. Before, pre-pandemic, I would get 10 to 15 new clients a month. Since the pandemic, we're getting 10 to 15 new clients a day at times.
No way.
So, oh yeah, again, fear and greed.
Mm.
So now the pandemic, you know, is calming down, and now we have inflation, the new fear factor. But in my opinion, yeah, it's a good time to become a business coach. Absolutely.
Dr. Paul, what can I make as a business coach and what do I have to do to make it?
So the sky's the limit, and that's not a cliche. It's based upon how much you want to put into it. For me, okay, let me give you an example. My coaching practice was always, you know, in the very high six figures, and I was never able to get it to seven-figure land. That was a personal best for me. It's something I wanted to do. So when I figured out strategies on how to do that, I realized that I needed to replicate myself and develop a team. At that point in time, I was working 3 days a week and off the first full week of every month, and life was really good. So in order to create my team, I needed to build that infrastructure to be able to train my team so they're great and they get results. Well, in order to do that, I literally started to work 24/7. I am not BSing you. 24/7. I would go to sleep. I normally go to sleep 12, 1 o'clock, but I would set my alarm for 3:30. I'd get up, I'd do some work. I'd go back to sleep for an hour. I'd set my alarm, get back up, and still coaching a full load during the day. My wife said to me, Paul, what are you doing? I said, what do you mean? She said, you're going to kill yourself. What are you doing? I said, I got to carve out infrastructure. She said, for what? I said, do you not know me after, 37 years of marriage and 43 years together? She said to me, yeah, you're going to give yourself a heart attack. I said, well, you and your new husband will be really happy. He said, no, I love you. I don't want a new husband. I said, listen, baby, just give me 3 months. Okay. I need to carve out this infrastructure. After 3 months, we'll be good. So it took 8 months. Okay. It's off my calculation. But after 8 months, now I have my infrastructure all carved out and my coach is trained, really, really effortlessly. My point to the story is this. I don't know how many people will be willing to work 24/7. I am. For that, I have received the ability to work 2.5 days per week off the first full week of every month, and it's better than a 7-figure gig. Now, some people may not want that, and you don't have to have that. So let me give you some realities and some checks. Typically, on a 15-hour work week, my coaches make somewhere around $250,000. If you want to do this part-time in conjunction with another job, you could put in 10 hours a week and you'll be doing somewhere between 120 and 150,000. And then if you want to put in more days, more time, like I say, the sky's the limit. And let me show you why. I charge a minimum of $5,000 a month for coaching. That means that my unit of sale is $60,000 per hit. I get 10 clients, that's $600,000. That's a lot of money. Now, let's look at a chiropractor as an example. A chiropractor, the average case average, the unit of sale is $1,200 per year. What that means is a patient will come to that chiropractor approximately 20 times during the year. That chiropractor will earn $1,200. I am scaling so much bigger at $5,000 a month, a $60,000 unit of sale. That's why, in my opinion, coaching is the greatest gig since sliced bread. But again, let me preface. It's about helping people, and you're going to help people to ways you've never imagined.
Yes, I agree. So let's talk about your new book for just a moment. Tell us what it's about and how can we get a copy?
Strategies for business owners who have limited time. Then go to my website, 911profit.com, and they can download a copy there. It is a very, very short read, but it is a powerful read. One bathroom sitting or two at most. You will learn how to get more leads. You'll learn how to convert your leads. You'll learn how to cut your expenses, all the good things that every business owner needs. It works for any business large or any business small. In short, all businesses.
Wow, great. I went to your YouTube channel and I encourage people to go there. But I was watching one of your shows and you talk about people who want to leave that 9-to-5 grind. And is your process a step-by-step process, or is it, jump in with no safety net? Tell us about how people can do that.
The first thing that I'm going to recommend is if you are even considering joining my team and you have a 9-to-5 job, I would tell you that I will not accept you on my team unless you have financial resources to back you while you're transitioning. And let me give you an example. A couple of years ago, there was a woman from Canada who was looking to come onto my team. And she said to me, great, I'm in. I said, great. She said, I can't wait. I am giving my notice today. I said, whoa, what do you mean you're giving your notice today? She said, I'm giving my notice. I can't stand my boss. I hate my job. I said, well, let me ask you something. Can I ask, what do you earn per year? She said, yeah, $120,000. I said, okay, what would happen if $120,000 went away? She said, I don't understand the question. I said, oh, let me rephrase. You make $120,000 today and tomorrow you make zero. What happens? She said, that wouldn't be good. I said, what happens? She said, well, I have a mortgage. I got kids. I said, good. You're not leaving your job. She said, no. My boss is a POS, male chauvinist pig. I can't stand him and I'm leaving my job. I said, no. If you leave your job today, I'm not taking you on my team. You see, this is what you want to do. You want to use that hatred for your boss and your job as emotional fuel so you can ramp up quickly, get 5 clients under your belt, and then tell your boss to go kiss off. But until then, you can't leave. So you asked, is this jumping in without a safety net? No. When somebody comes on my team, and let me really, really make this clear. Okay, we don't accept everybody on our team. This is not a money grab for us. Okay, I want the right people on my team. Why? When you start with the right people, when you start with the right ingredients to make a cake, guess what? You get a really good cake. Start with lousy ingredients. I don't care how good of a cook you are, you're not going to be so good. So I want the right ingredients. I want an entrepreneur who is self-starting. I want an entrepreneur who is self-starting and willing to put other people ahead of themselves. And most importantly, I want somebody who's trainable. The reason why I want somebody trainable is because everything literally is cookbook. Step one, when you are on the team, you'll get an email. It says, step one, click here and start your onboarding. You click there, you get a video, you start executing what's on the video. Step two, click here and schedule an appointment with me. Step three, click here and join our Facebook page. Step four, step five, step six. So it is literally cookbook. Again, all you have to do is execute. Everything that we teach has been around for 25 years, demonstrated in 25 countries, and it works every time, provided people execute. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So is that how you eliminate some people if they don't go through that process, or do you use assessments to determine the right person? Is there some other formula?
Yes, yes, and yes. So
Okay.
I am certified in DISC, which is behavioral analysis. So I know right away, the person when I get on the phone with them, who I'm looking for and at. But it's really about how they carry themselves. It's really about the interview process. And I will tell you that most people do not make our team, and I say that respectfully, because again, we're looking for the right people. But I will say this, and I'll say it over and over again: if this is the right opportunity for you, and if I am the right person for you, and if you are the right person for our team, oh man, your life is never going to be the same, and I guarantee that with 100% certainty. You asked a question that I didn't answer. Why leave corporate? You got to understand something. Corporate is great, and I'm not knocking it. But the problem with corporate America today, or corporate anywhere today, is this. It's not like in my grandfather's time. In my grandfather's time, when he decided to retire, he got a gold watch and he got a pension. Today, you don't get a gold watch. You get an attaboy or an attagirl, and there is no pension. Here's the problem. From age 55, well, you know what, let's say 60 to 65 in America, you're going to gray out. You're going to age out, like it or not. And what happens is, according to Forbes magazine, the average American does not have an extra $400 in their savings account to handle an emergency. A hot water heater goes, that's a problem. Tire blows, that's a problem. Well, if that's the reality, well, when you get your sunset, you can't go into that rocking chair and just sit around because you're not able to retire. So what happens at age 55 to 65 is that person has to retool. If they're not able to retool, then they end up in Walmart or they end up in McDonald's. And that's not a joke, and I'm not making fun of Walmart and McDonald's. That's the reality. When you go there and you look at the silver-haired people, ask yourself, what are they doing here? Now you know. So I am a big advocate of making your own way. Why? Because when you work for somebody, you're governed by them. Your time is governed by them, and your salary is governed by them. Let me give you an example. Let's say you make $100,000, above the average in America. You put whatever number you want, doesn't matter. Let's say that you're a W-2 employee. And for sake of argument, let's make it really easy. You make $100,000, the government is going to tax you at 50%. I know it's not 50%, just making the argument easy. That means you're left with $50,000 to run your life. Not an insignificant amount of money. You've got to pay your mortgage, your taxes, you've got to put away hopefully for retirement, you got to take care of your kids, etc. But here's the challenge. We're at 9% inflation. That means your $50,000 does not buy $50,000 worth of butter. It buys less, and every month it buys less and less. Now, stuff happens. Kids fall out of trees, hot water heater goes, tires blow, people need new cars. What happens? Well, now you have to go to your boss and say, hey, man, I need more money. I need a raise. Let's say they give you a 10% raise. That would be huge. They're not, but let's say they do. That's a $10,000 raise on $100,000. But again, you're going to pay 50% tax. You're going to be left with $5,000. What's that going to do for you? So now You've got to go to Aunt Visa and Uncle MasterCard for a loan. That's a problem, a big problem. When you own your own business, let's say I make the same $100,000. Well, I'm not taxed on the full 100 because I get write-offs. I have expenses. So maybe I'll expense out and I'll get to 60,000 that I'm taxed on. And the same 50%, I'm gonna be left with a whole lot more money than the average wage earner. Now, I have the same inflationary pressures. Stuff happens in my world too. And if I need a raise, all I have to do is work harder to bring in more people to me. See, when you work for a boss, I'll give you an example. I have a gentleman on my team who was making $500,000. That's a lot of money in a commission-based job. The pandemic started and his boss called him into his office and said, "We're done. I'm firing you." I said, "Are you out of your mind? I'm your best earner. Why are you firing me?" He said, "Because I could train a monkey to do what you do and I don't want to pay you anymore." Wow. He said, "Look how much money I've made for you." He said, "I know, pack your stuff, you're done." And he fired him. They're now in $200,000 of litigation over back commission. My point to the story is that employer, your employer, who's ever employer, governs you, your time, and your dollars. When you own your own business, now you govern yourself. That's why I like entrepreneurship, but it's not for everybody. There's nothing wrong with the security of a paycheck. And it's important that you know who you are on the scale. Being an entrepreneur ain't easy, but you know what? Being an employee, beck and call to your boss, working 80, 90 hours a week, making them rich, that to me is not fun either.
Right. Do you have to have a sales background in order to be on your team?
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, if you sell while you're on my team, you will be asked to leave. There is never, ever, ever any selling. It sounds like oxymoron, but why? We have tools. For example, we have something called profit acceleration software. Profit acceleration software will find any small business a minimum of $100,000 or more that they are leaving on the table in lost revenue. Let me qualify. If that business is doing $30,000 a year, I'm not finding them 100. But if they're doing 2, 300, a million, 3 million, whatever, I'll find so much freaking money their head will spin. What happens now is when clients see that lost revenue, they get pissed off, really pissed off, and they want that money back. So I don't have to sell them. I just have to ask them, would you like my help? And they're going to say yes, but the but is, how much is it going to cost? And then you create a budget for them and boom, they come on board with you. So you never have to sell anybody at any time. And again, let me preface, if somebody comes on my team and they sell, they're going to be asked to leave.
Now, I also found something else amazing. You will cover a person's startup cost. Did I read that correctly?
You did. There are a lot of features that we provide. And my best recommendation is we have a webinar that we put out that you can watch. And I know that you'll give it to them later.
Yes.
That they can watch. And it will explain this opportunity from soup to nuts. Everything that they ever needed to know is in that webinar. Now, we provide a lot of features. We're going to provide that profit acceleration software. There's over $2.5 million in there if they wanted to recreate it themselves. Countless hours. We're going to create an academy. The academy, in my opinion, is the greatest thing since sliced bread. If somebody can't afford your service, we downsell them into the academy, which is where it is a subscription-based model where they pay you directly, $197 a month or whatever you want to charge. And the client gets videos and how-to workbooks on how they can get some money together and then graduate into one-on-one coaching with you. That academy, if they want to reproduce it, they can. It'll cost them about $800,000 and about 18 months of their life. That academy is a tremendous passive income revenue generator. It brings me about $41,000 a month in passive revenue. It is huge. The next thing is we're going to help our coaches write a book. Books give you preeminent status and books give you instant credibility. We're going to help them to write a book. We're also going to be providing 3 coaches, including myself, that are going to coach them literally one-on-one on number 1, how to start this business. Number 2, how to get leads. Number 3, how to close those leads with never having to sell them. Number 4, most importantly, how to service those leads so those clients get results, so they stay with you month after month, year after year. I have clients that are still with me since 2004. I mean, it's pretty cool. So everything, and by the way, there are about 50 other things that I'm not telling you about. Everything costs $10,000. What I do for the right person is I put that $10,000 up for them, and then they pay me back on a schedule. That schedule will range anywhere from $300 a month to $1,000 a month, depending on the interview and depending on my assessment and my level of risk in investing in that person. And like I said before, most people don't make it to the team, and the reason is simply, I don't feel comfortable in investing 10 grand in them. Because when I invest that money, I do want and I do expect to get it back. So if we are a fit, we'll know it, and I'll happily put that money up, and then they'll pay me back. What I tell everybody is this. The first thing that you have to do is you have to watch that video from 3 perspectives. Number 1, is it viable what I'm showing you on the screen? Number 2, most importantly, will you execute what I'm showing you on the screen? Number 3, do you want to join the team? If the answer is yes to all those, at the end of the video is a link that they can click to set up a full-blown interview. When they click that link, they get a due diligence package. The due diligence package tells them everything that they saw in the video in writing. And I want them to evaluate the due diligence package from this perspective. I want them to think of me as Bernie Madoff on steroids, and I'm not joking, and think of this as the biggest scam on the planet, and I'm not joking. Look, this is a big investment of time and dollars on both of our parts. You've got to do your homework. You've got to make sure that this is legitimate. Guess what? When you start to do the due diligence and you Google me, you'll see my reputation is impeccable. You'll see I've been in business for 36 years, 35 years, whatever it is. My reputation is impeccable. My reviews are stellar, and we just don't mess around. Everything I tell you here on the video is transparent and provable. There's no BS in my world. There's no gray. It is right there, black and white. It's either ethical and legal or it's not. So when that person does the due diligence, they have to decide if this is right. If it is right, I will tell you right now, if you're right for the team and this is right for you, the money will always work itself out. Don't worry about the money. That's always the last piece. First, make sure that this is something you want to do. Make sure that it's viable. Make sure that it's legitimate. And make sure that you resonate with me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I get it, okay? And that's okay. But if you are right for us and we are right for you, we will be very happy together. And most importantly, the clients that we serve will be really happy.
Right. Dr. Paul, you have brought the audience, both entrepreneurs and the 9-to-5ers who want a better life, a great opportunity and something that I think they would like to take a look at. Are there any final words you'd like to say to the audience before we wrap up?
No, what I'd like to say is this: you can do whatever you want to do. Zig Ziglar said it best, and I live by his words: help other people achieve their dreams and their goals, and you will automatically achieve yours. Just live by that. Do what makes you happy, okay? You can create whatever it is that you want to do, period, end of story.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. I enjoyed this so much.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day, and to the audience, have an awesome day too.
Great. Thank you for watching Business Notes. We've been speaking with Dr. Paul S. Inselman, business development strategist, world-class business coach, author, and successful entrepreneur. I'm your host, Diane Bogino, bringing you business ideas you can bank on.